And today I have a special guest.
Stop and not be so annoying.
What the heck? No, you can't read while I'm... It's gonna look like you don't care. You have to listen. I would have used my phone also. Well, you know life. There are toxic people that you have to drop. Anyways, What?
Slow clap.
Why?
Okay.
Hey guys, it's your girl China, and for today I'm back with another video, and today I have a special guest. Guess who it is? Guess who it is? It's my mama. My mama.
Don't touch.
And if you guys are watching this from my mom's Facebook page, she'll be posting it there. Then I'm the special guest. Hi, I'm China. I'm her daughter. So
Yeah, I think everyone knows that.
Hi.
You're so sikat on my Facebook page.
Thanks. So today we're talking about something very important, and it's a very sensitive issue that we both have experience in, and something that's very close to our hearts. So this series is gonna be, it's called Real Talk because we're gonna be talking about
Real
issues,
stuff.
yeah, real stuff, like important things, but important issues that we really want to talk about. This is care about. So this is gonna be up every month at the end of the month, and we hope you guys stay tuned for all the following real talks after this. But today's episode will be all about...
Oh, am I supposed to say it? Mental health.
Mental health. So we're going to be talking about mental health. And what about mental health, Mommy?
Oh, well, we decided to focus because we're not experts on all aspects of mental health. So we're focusing on just depression and anxiety. And, you know, before we start sharing our experiences with depression and anxiety, I think it's important that we send out some disclaimers. Like, disclaimer number one would be that, of course, we are not experts, we're not doctors, so everything that we will share is just based on experience and, like, our own personal opinions on it. But, yeah. Alright, so disclaimer number two is that all of the solutions that we are going to suggest, they are our own, and
it's what works for us.
Yeah, so we can't say that
it's gonna work for you also, because everyone's mental health issue is different. I mean, everyone experiences anxiety and depression like in different ways. So again, to reiterate, we're only gonna be talking about anxiety and depression because that's what we have experience in and that's what we know.
Yeah, so I'm the one that has experienced depression.
I'm the one with anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share about what I've experienced with depression, and actually, like, I mean, my kids know that I experienced depression, but
no, I don't.
No, I told you before that I had experience with depression, right? And I told you that I saw a psychiatrist and I took antidepressant pills. But I've never, like, really delved. I've never
really talked about it.
Yeah,
like super.
Like what kind of depression and why I had it and how I dealt with it and what was going on. So. Basically, so this is the first time that China's gonna hear about it, and also, yes, my other daughter, Romaine. Hi, Omi! Okay, so, first time I experienced, depression was when I was really young and still living in Bahrain, because that's where I grew up. So, I was probably around, 9 or 10 years old, and like I said, back in the day, depression, it wasn't a thing. Like, people didn't recognize depression as a sickness, so I didn't know what I was feeling. So only when I look back now that I recognize that was depression, and what contributed, I guess, to my depression was the fact that I'm an only child. So, you know, it was a feeling of being alone, and just really, like, I remember, like, really having overwhelming feelings of sadness as early as 9 years old, and it escalated in college because well, when I was in college, you know, I was really into performing arts, into theater, and, you know, I'd read a lot of depressing stuff. So yeah, and, you know, me and my friends, we loved Kurt Cobain, we loved Jim Morrison, The Doors, Virginia Woolf, and, you know, we'd read a lot of stuff and get into a lot of stuff that would glorify suicide and just glorify being depressed. So it kind of escalated Also in the sense that I was doing a lot of theater, and I was on stage and performing, and I was living in a dorm. So after the shows, I'd come home to the dorm, and it was so quiet, and there I really feel like overwhelmingly sad and lonely, and I really felt depressed. I think like when I was in college, that's the first time that I recognized that what I was feeling was depression. But I still didn't know that it was an actual
thing. Like you didn't
thing,
know what it was,
or
like
an
the
actual
definition
sickness.
of it. Yeah.
No. I knew what the definition of depression, but I didn't know it was a condition. It was an actual condition. I just thought that I was feeling depressed. So it escalated in college, and then on and off. But I really came to the height of my depression when I was a young adult, and you were already born, and your sister, and you were young. So you're probably like, I can't remember, but probably around 7. Like, no, you were probably like 7, and Omi was around 3, or maybe a bit younger. Yeah, probably younger. You were
like
maybe
6
and 2, probably something like that. And I was just really so unhappy with so many things in my life, and there were a couple of things that I did as well, like mistakes that I committed that really made me like bad decisions that led to my
what bad decisions were these?
But the bad decisions really made me feel sort of like disconnected from the world, and really triggered my depression, up to the point where really there was a point that to be honest, really I didn't want to live anymore. Like it was really, really intense, that I just said like, God, life is just so damn tiring, and there's just like challenge after challenge, and adversity after adversity, and just life is just too difficult, and I just can't go on anymore. I just rather like end it. If I'm going to struggle through the rest of life, then I just rather die and be in peace and just not exist. At least I'm not going to have to like deal with so many things. So
you're gonna leave me?
Well,
Okay.
I'll tell you what, like how I
Okay,
did
okay,
overcome
okay.
it, you know. So I did overcome it, and I mean, I'll tell you later on about how I overcame it. But like today, God, I don't want to die at all. In fact, I'm so afraid of dying. You know, like I really want to live until I'm like really, really ripe and old. So
Ew.
that is my experience with depression, and I guess later on I'll talk about how I overcame it. So your turn.
My turn! So I'm not like her, where she's like got herself all figured out already. I'm still trying to get over my anxiety, but basically my story is, I don't know when it started. I guess it started in high school, but at that time I'd experienced the symptoms, but I didn't really know that it was anxiety, you know. And I guess I'd only come to really like think and guess that it was anxiety when I got into university. Like I'd take like different like tests online, and I know like, you know, don't self-medicate, but I was like really sure. I was like, I really think this anxiety, sometimes even depression. But yeah, so later on, when it got really worse, I started seeing a therapist in my 3rd year of uni. And because it was really bad, I'd always have it. I'd always experience attacks, anxiety attacks, maybe even twice a day. It was that bad. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I'd be frozen. Like, it's really crippling. Like, my anxiety gets that bad, wherein I can't think. I just need to pause everything, and like the feeling inside is like my heart is like in my stomach, and like I'm shaking, I'm frozen, I'm stuck, and all I want to do is just lie in my bed, curl up into a ball, and like cover myself with a blanket, like a weighted blanket. Like that's what it felt like. And because of this, like there were times, that's why I always miss classes, that's why I always cut my classes, because of anxiety of going to that class, or you know, that's why I cut a lot of classes actually, because of my anxiety. Like I just stay in bed instead and just be there. And I don't know, sometimes people think anxiety is you being lazy, but it's really not. It's because you physically can't. Like you can't move. I don't know how to explain it, but that's how it feels. And also, and it's like a vicious cycle, because for example, okay, I'm anxious about this class, so I don't go. But then you miss things, right? You miss some lectures, you miss maybe even quizzes, and then you're gonna be anxious about that. So then you don't want to go again. Like, do you get it? Like, it's a vicious cycle. And but because I went to therapy, it kind of lessened a little, and it lessened a lot actually when I moved here, because I don't know, I just feel like it's a brand new start for me, so I feel like it was really cleansing for my soul and for my mental health. Like my move here, it was very cleansing, and although it's starting to creep back in, but not as bad. It's starting to slowly creep back in, but not as bad, maybe once a week, twice at most, but I haven't had any major anxiety attacks since my move, except for one. I don't think I told you about this. But there was this one time, so I was doing a shoot. At the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the airport, and during the shoot, I just started to be very anxious because there were things that I needed to do, and I feel like my mind was so cluttered already, and I was just too anxious. So what happened was, after the shoot, it was midway the shoot, okay, like it just hit me, and I was like, oh no. And then after the shoot, what I did was, I literally just sat down at Changi Airport, and I was just sitting there. I sat there for 2 hours, doing nothing. I couldn't even get like my earphones from my bag because I couldn't move. That's how crippled I was. Like, I was just on my phone, and I was literally like this. And I was just like looking at people for 2 hours, doing nothing. And then when I finally had the strength to stand up and to go back home, I was like walking really slowly, and I was like still kind of shaking, and I was on the way home. I got off the bus, I was just walking to my condo, and it started raining, and I had an umbrella, okay? I had an umbrella, and it was raining hard, and for some reason I was so frozen that I couldn't even get the umbrella from my bag, so I was walking in the rain. It sounds so emo, but I couldn't, like, I really couldn't. But yeah, I just felt like it really affects you also physically, like, you know, not just mentally, but physically. Like, it's so draining to have anxiety, you guys, you don't even know. But yeah, that's kind of like long story short.
Okay, so like, because I've already overcome my depression, so I wanted to share like how like what I did or what happened and why I don't feel it anymore. Well, basically that time when it was at its peak, and that time that I wanted to end my life, I really had a very, very serious wake-up call that really I almost ended my life. So,
What
so,
happened?
no need to go into details, but basically
What
I had
the
an episode
heck?
where I really nearly ended my life, and that loved ones came in and took me to see a psychiatrist, okay, who put me on antidepressants. And that was also the time that one of my friends introduced me to the church that I belong to, and that was also the time that I became a Christian. So I don't know which of these three it was that helped me. Was it the psychiatrist? Was it the antidepressants? Was it me being a Christian? Of course, like spiritually, I would say that before I became a Christian, I had like a Jesus-shaped vacuum in my heart, and then once that Jesus-shaped vacuum was filled, like I didn't feel like I started to love life. It could be a combination of all three. I was on antidepressants for quite a while, like I think 2 years, or a little bit more than 2 years. I was on these antidepressants, and they were really good. They made me sleep really well. I love them.
Yay.
But yeah, I think it was the combination of these three, and now I just have this vigor for life, and you know, now that I have 3 kids, my God, I really don't want to die. I'm so happy that I didn't end my life, and that my life didn't end, and I'm so excited for the future. And although I still have like, I know it's in me to feel depressed. I know it's like, because like I have to, maybe it's important also that we mention that it's in our genetics, because like it's in,
I didn't know that.
Well, it's in the science genetics, because like I have an aunt, the sister of my mother. They say she died of a broken heart. She was very depressed. Another aunt, another sister of my mother, was very mentally unstable. So I know like it's in me to be depressed, but now I can fight it. Like just very recently, I think just very recently, a year ago, I had to deal with this really awful person at work. A really awful person, and you know, she really gave me a lot of like anxiety, but I knew how to fight the anxiety inside. Like I wouldn't let it get me down, but I'd really have to fight. Like mentally, I'd have to fight. But it took a toll on, because I was fighting it consciously. Unconsciously, there were other things that were happening to my body. It came out like unconsciously or involuntarily. Okay, like for example, I developed insomnia. Okay, because of this person. Like I had endless nights of not sleeping, and also like I developed this physical symptom. Okay, that was unexplained. I developed like vertigo and a headache that wouldn't. I mean, I went
Is that
to
why
see.
you got glasses?
No. I mean, I went to see like doctors. I went to see neurologists.
Oh, I remember that.
And I had MRI scan. I had a CT scan, and everyone was telling me that you're clear. Nothing's wrong with your brain.
So
You don't have brain cancer. It's just stress. But I was really physically feeling it. Like I would have intense headaches and dizziness, and everyone was telling me that it's stress. So while I was fighting it emotionally, all of the anxiety that this person was bringing me, I was fighting it emotionally, but physically it was I was involuntarily physically affected, if that makes any sense. But like at least like I can say that I have the maturity now to really like fight the anxiety and just like really tread on with like really the will to go on.
I'm totally the opposite.
No, it's because you're still young, and you have a lot of other things to go through, I guess, to get to this
I don't want to
stage.
go through things anymore, Chos. So I'm totally the opposite. I don't have my whole life figured out. Well, she doesn't have her life figured out, but I'm not as strong as her. Like power through. Like when I have anxiety attacks, I'm just like, I just want to lie down and sleep
but
forever.
what do you do?
Okay, so what I do usually is, right now what's really helping me like emotionally and mentally would be yoga. A lot of yoga, a lot of meditation. I try like when I'm really anxious for like days on end, I wake up extra early. I wake up like maybe 5:30 in the morning, and I just try to do yoga by myself. I do lots of meditation, breathing exercises. I just feel like it helps me calm myself and just pause for a while, like it helps me forget about everything else outside the mat, and it just helps me set my intentions for the day, and also for myself, like I just like literally everything's on pause. Even if time is running, for me everything's on pause when I do yoga. It just really helps me clear my mind, clear my heart, clear all anxieties. But I guess this is only like a short-term way to like,
No, it could be long term as well. If you keep doing it, then it's...
Yeah, I guess. But I feel like I'm still searching for something more to help me. But also, another way is, aside from yoga, I exercise a lot. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I do a lot of different workouts, and I like staying fit, but it's actually a really good way for me to release stress. That's why I do it every day. It's also another way for me to just like pause everything with all like my stress and anxieties. But yeah, I don't know, doing therapy, when I went to see a therapist, it kind of helped. But when I stopped, because I'm a person who likes doing things on like continuously, like it has to be a habit and scheduled. So like when I was doing it continuously, I was okay, but then I stopped for a while because it was like finals week or midterms back in uni. And then when I stopped for a while, I was super anxious already to go back. I was like, oh, I don't wanna do this anymore. But yeah, it really helps talking to someone about it. Of course, you don't want to share it with like the whole world. No, there's nothing wrong with sharing it with the whole world, but there are things you can't tell the whole world. So have that friend that you trust to talk about this with, to talk about your issues with, because it really helps get it out of your chest, and just so that someone can
Off your chest.
And that's so someone can empathize.
Yeah.
Empathize with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the message that we're trying to convey in this video is that, first of all, depression and anxiety, they are real. They are conditions.
Super real.
They're real, they're conditions, and it's not all in the mind. So if you have like a friend, a kid, a parent, anyone, a sibling.
Their feelings are valid, guys. It's not made up.
A sibling that you think is experiencing depression or anxiety, or
Talk to
reaches
them.
out to you, it's not a good response to say that it's all in your mind. You can do it. Just like manage your feelings.
I mean, you can do it is okay, but try to be more helpful. Like, what can I do for you? Or, you know, but sometimes they don't want you to do anything. They just want you to be there.
But I mean, if you think the situation is intense, if you think someone's really suffering from intense depression or intense anxiety, really the best thing to do would bring them to a professional.
Yeah, push them and like really just try to talk to them. At first they won't want to, most probably, but it's really important because it really helps put you into place and see what you're actually going through and see it from a professional person's point of view. Because like for me, like I didn't want to for the longest time, but like I had a close friend. And he really cared about me enough to really push me and really, you know, force me even to see one. Like, he'd go with me, and I'm really thankful that he did that for me.
Yeah, so it really helps to see a professional. And then, I don't know, I just hope that my story kind of inspired you if you are experiencing any kind of depression. I mean, here's a testimonial from someone who really wanted to end her life, but now is like really loving life and really wants to live a long life. So you can overcome it. You can really be healed. Okay, and another message is that, you know, when you feel that maybe you do have depression or anxiety, don't be shy to reach out to people.
Yes.
Especially family members. Like, maybe you think that they won't understand, but you'll never know until you try. And it's just really important that you reach out to someone who can help. So talk to someone. If you're too shy to talk to a family member, or you're too shy to talk to your parents about it, then a sibling or a cousin or a friend or
someone
anyone
you really trust.
Or just anyone, because it's really important that you communicate.
You let it out. And also, I guess this video is just to say that there shouldn't be any stigma with talking about it, because it's real, you guys. It's real. It's not fake. Your feelings are valid.
Yeah, and there's lots of people who've experienced. Why do I keep looking here? Well, there are lots of people who have experienced it, so don't feel like you're
alone
weird and like people won't understand, because there are lots of people who have experience with it, and there are people who can help you. Okay, can we end this now?
Yeah. So that's it. Okay, guys, so that's it for this month's Real Talk. I hope you guys learned something from us, and hope you understand more what it feels like to have anxiety or depression if you don't have it. And also, I hope that we inspired you, if you do have it, to talk about it, because it's really important for us to talk about this, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, so see you guys next month on next month's Real Talk. Watch out what the topic will be. It'll be interesting. And do you have anything else to say?
No.
Follow her on Instagram. She does makeup stuff. Like, look at this.
If you like makeup.
So she does makeup. Follow her. Follow me.
Here, put my Instagram handle.
I'm gonna put her Instagram handle over here. Do this. Over here. And yeah. See you guys next time.
Bye.
You wanna do it with me?
No, I'm fine with you doing
Okay,
it.
you have to do that also.
Okay.
Ready? Bye.
You're irreplaceable, collectible, just